Stab your weapon up. Stab your weapon up. Stab your weapon up with G-I-J.
Oh my God, girl. Good job.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going on? What's going on?
Thanks for listening or watching another episode of Level Up with Gene and Jay.
Yeah.
I'm Gene.
You know it's your boy Jay.
This is Jay. We're super excited. We have Brother Nasir X and his lieutenant in the house today.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Peace
Thank
and
you
blessings.
for being here.
Most definitely. Thank you for having us.
Indeed. So tell you a little about Brother Nasir X. He's the national president of the Lion of Judah Armed Forces. He's also the local president of the new Black Panther Nation.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
So he is here to talk with us about that.
And as always, y'all make sure that, like usual, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you get all the information out. It really helps push videos, really gets the attention out there. So if you guys like what you see and you want to support in any way, the best way to start is to make sure you're sharing this video and liking it. So just so we knock that out and get that out the way as well. So
Absolutely.
But welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much. And if y'all want to give you want to give a formal introduction of yourself, brother, go right ahead.
Well, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum, shalom alaikum, hotep. That's greetings in many different languages to my brothers and sisters, everybody that's watching, and those who actually show support and represent. My name is Brother Nasiy Nasir X, National President of the Lion of Judah Armed Forces, and also National Minister of Information of the new Black Panther Nation here in Minnesota Division.
Wow.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's a title right there, bro. That is a title.
That is. If you wouldn't mind, could you kind of tell us what your organizations stand for and like what your objective is and goals and...
Well, the mission with the Lion of Judah Armed Forces and the goals and the new Black Panther Nation is to make sure that we build more intellectuals that's focused on the liberation of indigenous Aboriginal people. Not only that, to make sure that we create more leaders and more teachers to focus on knowledge of self.
Okay.
And then also we do community work, community giveaways, such as free food giveaways, clove drives, and so much more. And we make sure that we're very consistent with that as well. We hold sisterhood development classes every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for sisters, that want to, be able to join a sisterhood that's possibly out here lost in the world, want to receive knowledge themselves and who they are. Sister who's probably dealing with domestic violence, domestic assault, alcohol abuse, or alcohol addiction, or anything. Them sisters, can come to the sisterhood development class, and be guided in the right direction.
Right.
We also have classes every Saturday and meetings every Saturday that I host as national president. And the same thing goes there. It's just nationwide and internationally where we have brothers and sisters join in.
Is that an actual facility or is it a Zoom call?
That's a Zoom call.
Okay.
Most definitely.
And can anybody join?
Most definitely. Anybody.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
One question, is it two separate entities or is it one entity as far as the Lion of Judah and the new Black Panther Nation?
I mean, we're one, because, unity is the key. But at the same time, we want to make sure that, just the new Black Panther Nation is ran by National Chairman, Minister Cornel X.
Okay.
So that's his, he's the chairman over the new Black Panther Nation. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm the local president, or local chairman of the Minnesota division, but also I have a national ranking position, which is National Minister of Information.
Wow.
Yep. So we united. We're allies.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I was just curious because when I look up one, the other comes up with it too. So I didn't know if you're a part of one of the groups, are you automatically a part of the other?
Most definitely. We're allies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We do recruiting for both organizations. You know what I'm saying? Some people just like the name or may want to be a part of the new Black Panthers because of the history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Lion of Judah Armed Forces, we accept, all people, you know what I'm saying, of all walks of life. We don't allow our differences or anything to divide us.
Right.
Even though being on one accord is mandatory, being on one accord is key. But we do not allow our differences to set us apart.
Okay, that's what's up. As far as so I saw that you guys are currently recruiting. For people that are interested, what exactly does what does that consist of? Like, what does a person have to do to join?
Right.
And what steps do they got to take? If they're a felon, does that exclude them? Because I know felons, I think, can't have guns, right?
Well, just because they're a felon, it does not exclude them.
Okay.
Even the Messiah himself was amongst sinners. So, that's something that, we represent wholeheartedly, for we are followers after, the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. And since he was around sinners, the law, even Saul or Paul said that the law wasn't created for basically those or the righteous, but the law was created for the sinners or those who was lost. So that's what this is for. We're operated off of rules and regulations and principles,
right?
And the divine order of our Creator. So it's our job to make sure that we be fishers of men and women by going out into the world, into the lost sheep of the house of Yashael or Israel, and guide them in the right direction to make sure that they're brought back on the right path. And these are sinners, and these are people who got felons, and et cetera, et cetera. And we also have resources, for people who are felons. We have resources to help them try to at least get it expunged later on down the line, to give them advice and knowledge and wisdom on behalf of, hey, you got this felon, make sure you stay out of trouble, stay law abiding, so that way you can get yourself back on track, later on down the line, so you can get that expunged, it can fall off, and you can have a clear record. Is
it difficult to get it expunged?
No, it's not. It's just you got to remain law abiding and staying out of trouble.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just really what it is. Sometimes people have a hard time doing that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, when you're around, righteous brothers and you're around righteous sisters, and you're consistent and you're dedicated, nothing's too impossible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nothing's impossible.
And the reason I ask is because I know in our community, that is an issue. Sometimes people having felonies, and I just feel like some people might be discouraged to reach out to you because they might think like, I'm a felon, they're not going to accept me, blah, blah, blah. So I thought it was a legitimate question to ask.
No, it was. But, that's something I want to touch on too, because, our organization isn't just about guns. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want brothers and sisters to think that, I got to have a gun to join. No. Yeah, we are focused on a growing army, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, to be able to protect our community, to protect our youth, our loved ones, our elders, etc., from the violence and ongoing crime that's being committed. But at the same time,
that's just like a piece.
Yeah, that's just a piece. Yeah,
right.
Because people get death threats.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Funeral homes be getting shot up.
Yeah.
There's all type of madness and things that be going on and that be taking place and even protests and marches and stuff. They may reach out to us to hold security. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then also, me being a USCCA and NRA instructor, we teach classes on self-defense. We teach classes on, Second Amendment. I teach firearm classes as well for anybody that want to get licensed to carry. They can come through us. You know what I'm saying? And we can properly get them, their license to carry and everything. And, it's very important that we as a nation of people also know the importance of self-defense, protecting ourselves, because self-defense is mandatory.
And so you spoke a lot about so it's not just about obviously having strapped up and everything and protecting your communities. It's also about the knowledge too of becoming a part of a Black Panther and what comes with that.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, dude. When I think of the Black Panthers, I always go back to Huey and them and stuff, and what they went through, and what does that look like now in the modern day? You know what I mean? So when Gene kind of told me about you guys coming on our show and talking about it, I was really excited because it's good for not only myself to even learn about this more, but viewers that are watching at home that know that they're still there, and you guys have upgraded just like anybody else in the last 30, 40 years.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So big ups to y'all on that for sure, bro.
Appreciate that, brother.
Indeed.
Let's talk a little bit about like I heard you before when we were first talking, before we started recording, you said you've been doing this for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So what kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of got you into this?
Well, what got me, before this, I was teaching on the streets.
Yeah.
I was teaching the biblical scrolls, out in the streets, to educate, edify, and again, being fishers of men. Especially within the community, because so much gun violence, so much self-hate, and so much, the generational curse is serious. So before this, I was out in the streets 13 years, all through St. Paul, Minneapolis North, Minneapolis South, wherever you see, even downtown Minneapolis, downtown St. Paul, teaching the word of the Most High to the people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get them back on track, telling them, hey, repent. You know what I'm saying? Turn back to righteousness, repent for the sins that you're committing, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So I was already a helper of the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew it was my calling. Yeah. And my mother, rest in power to her, but my mother, she always said, even when I was a child, she said that you're going to grow, you're going to get older to help the people. And I also had a vision of you teaching. And she always said that,
Did you believe her when she said that when you were a child, or were you like, mama?
No, I never doubted her, but when I was a child, we all try to find and search our ways. You know what I'm saying? Search for, what fits us the best. We always ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? When you're a child, you don't really know.
Right, right.
You can say
the typical things that you think they want to hear.
Yeah, but I was into basketball. I was like, one of, the top PGs in the state coming up with basketball. And that was part of my dream, trying to play college and going to the pros and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But, the Most High knows, what he has for you. He know what path that he wants you on. And eventually, he will place you there. If it's not meant to be, it's not going to work out. And that's just what it is. That's just what happened with basketball. It just didn't work out.
Right.
But
so did you see yourself kind of as a preacher back then in a certain sense, or?
It started off with the, music as well. I wrote my brother wrote my first verse when I was 7.
Okay.
So after that, it was like, I sort of started blossoming and glooming with the music, and all praises to the Most High. And for my brother, he brought me up in that real hip hop era. You know what I'm saying? It was more about revolutionary. It was more. He brought me up off that Brand Nubian and that
Tribe Called Quest,
Wu-Tang, and that real hip hop.
Absolutely.
Era. And and ever since then, that's what stuck with me with music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So as I'm, writing, I consider myself more of a poet than a rapper. That is what led to today.
So sending a message was important to you within your music, absolutely. Exactly. And so that you started realizing like, wow, my music's really getting to folks. I feel like I can do something here, with not just like with just music alone, but just with your presence alone. That's awesome, bro.
And just to let y'all know, Jay, his name was Poetic.
Yeah.
He does music too.
Yeah, back when I did. It was a while ago. I'm a little too old now, but I still fuck around with music every now and then. But like I did, like my stage name, like I said, it was Poetic, and I focused way more on like, I had homies that did the street life, and I was a part of it, but I felt like I didn't need to talk about it because my boy was talking about it. I was more on the mental health standpoint, like where we are as a collective mentally,
Right.
And so I spoke a lot about my depression, my pain, and was just hoping that people would relate in a lot of ways. And what I got back from it was knowing like when you're real on your music, you get real results. People really felt you on that. So
and that's real.
Yeah.
And just being a part of that, the music industry, that's when I learned the music industry is a dog eat dog business.
Right.
That's when I realized it. Like
did you deal with like producers, like big known names and all that?
I went on tour with Crime Mob, Lil Flip, T.I.P., Young Buck, Tech Nine, and many more. You know, Trauma Sutra. You know, I went on tour with a lot of these, you know, artists, and also it got to a period where, you know, I also sat down with Sony and Universal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
They're ready to sign you?
Yeah, but I turned it down.
Yeah, good choice,
I turned it down because that was at the peak where I started to realize, you know, like, you know, what they were trying to offer, and you know, and at that time I was also reading a lot and digging deeper on behalf of the deception, on behalf of the slave contracts, and so much more. So, you know, that's when I realized about the slave contracts, you know, who's running the industry, a lot more about these companies and stuff like that. That's when I started to change, and I switched up. You know, I didn't want nothing to do with it. It was dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you gotta sell your soul, basically.
So that's true. Like, I've gone down a rabbit hole talking about or just watching about the music industry, and a lot of people speak the same thing you're saying.
Do you know what's your code?
15399.
Y'all keep going.
And that's a real thing. You experienced it firsthand or observed it.
Yep, that's a real thing.
Yeah,
you know, and it was like, you know, if you're rapping about something that's optimistic, if you're rapping about uplifting the brothers and sisters, if you're educating the minds of your people, you know, they don't really want that. They want the music that is destructive.
So, what advice would you give to young men and women that's their goal is to pursue the music career, become famous, become rappers? Do you have any advice to give to them as far as
educate the minds of the youth? You know what I'm saying? When you're rapping about something, you know, rap about, you know, giving them some knowledge and wisdom of self. Yeah. You know, lead them in the, you know, right direction, especially if you got the followers, you got the power. Make sure you leading our youth and our people in the right direction.
Good example.
You know, quit belittling our women. Quit belittling our children, you know, quit belittling and misguiding the young brothers that's coming up in the world that look up to you. See, and that's the thing, you know, your followers, you know, today, modern day is idol worship. So these young children and stuff, they're worshiping men. Right. They're worshiping these young women. They're worshiping worshiping these female artists. And at the same time, you know, the fact that we know that they're worshiping them, and even they know that they're being worshipped. They need to choose a different direction with what they're rapping about, because even though the music may say 18 plus, we know that. We know that.
Your 13-year-olds listening.
We know, you know, nowadays with the technology, the media, and all that stuff, a lot of the children is getting a hold of to that madness.
Right. I'm super curious about Israelites is the word, right? I'm not super familiar with what that's about, man. Can you kind of explain what being an Israelite is, and maybe
most definitely. You know, we are the children of Yasharel. You know, the indigenous Aboriginal man and woman, those who came and was sold as slaves on cargo slave ships that were shipped all throughout the four corners of the earth. You know, they are the children of Yasharel, and this is our nationality. This is not a religion. Like some people get, you know, just because you know, we read the biblical scrolls, you know, or the ancient scrolls, they try to immediately tie it to religion. Right. This have nothing to do with religion. This was around before religion. Yeah. You know, we can go back. We can go back to Ethiopia, where like one of the oldest copies of the biblical scrolls was found. You know, we can go before that. You know what I'm saying? Thousands and thousands of years, you know, before religion or any of that stuff was found. This is a nationality. This is who we are as a nation of people. We're not African American. We're not black. This is why a lot of other nations don't take us serious.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're not labeled. I mean, you know, we're labeling ourselves after titles.
Right.
We're not labeling ourselves after, you know, who we are as a nation of people. Every other nation on the face of the earth know who they are. You know what I'm saying? You can call white people white, but at the same time, they know that they're Caucasians, or, you know, they know that they're
they know where their ancestry came from.
Like Australians, or
I have no idea. I know the continent of Africa, but I don't know the specific country.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Keep on going.
No, but yeah, you know, it's who we are. It's our nationality. You know, we as the children of Israel was stripped away. You know, everything was stripped from us.
First turn off airplane.
That comes from everything was stripped from us when it comes to our language. You know, our culture, our tradition, our traditional ways, and everything. Being an Israelite, you know, it was 12 tribes of Israel. Being an Israelite is not. It has nothing to do with religion. You know, it's our nationality as a nation of people. We were the only nation on the face of the earth who no longer know who we are as a nation or as a nationality. We're calling ourselves after bywords and titles that was given to us. African American was given to us. Black, you know, that was given to us. That's not a nationality. That's not who we are. So, you know, when you read the biblical scrolls, you see it all stems from tribes as well. You know, even when you deal with Africa or Alkabu land, you know, if you go to the Igbo tribe, the Yoruba tribe, or whatever, you know, they're all different tribes. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we always have had, and what we, you know, and what we that represented us was tribes. And when you look at the children of Israel, it's based off of 12 tribes. And also, when you go into history, you will see the 12 tribes, or the 3 tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, was scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. But the 9 tribes, the nine and a half tribes, stayed over there within Africa.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's where, you know, they went into slavery, but they resided and stayed over on that side of the earth within that time. So our ancestors, you know, when you deal with the slave trade and et cetera, those are Hebrew Israelites. You know, even when you look into the history, you'll see they had Hebrew names. You know what I'm saying? It was tied to that. And then even when you look over here in America, you will see Hebrew writings.
So the Hebrew was in Africa, you're saying, or
Hebrews?
Yeah,
that's all. That's Africa. Like what they call the Middle East. That's all. That's Africa. Middle East was a title that they gave a few hundred years ago. You know, just to separate, cause a division. But in reality, all of that, like Israel and stuff, that's Northeast Africa. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
That's Northeast Africa. So,
what's that canal called between Israel and Africa? The Suez Canal.
The Suez Canal.
I think that's man-made. They made that to separate Israel from Africa. They didn't want it to be connected to Africa.
Yeah, and the reality is that the people, you know, that reside in Israel today that calls themselves Jews, they're not in the true land.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even when you look at you read the biblical scrolls in the book of Numbers and the book of Joshua, you will see when the Most High gave the children of Israel the land flowing with milk and honey, that was called the land of Canaan.
Okay.
So the land of Canaan, right? And the land where they reside, and when you look it up, the land of Canaan resides in Palestine. Okay. Right? So when you look it up, this is why you see the ongoing war and the fight over that land over there. Because they're like, hold on, you know, we're the indigenous Aboriginal people that resided here. Right. But also, when you pay attention to the Christian church and the Catholic church and these pastors, what are they always teaching? They're always teaching about the children of Ham. And they're always saying that, you know, we're Ham and we're cursed, you know, because we come from Ham and because of the color of our skin and because of Canaan, you know, the Canaanites. So even they themselves are teaching and telling us that the Canaanites were black.
Right.
They were black.
Yeah.
So the land, the indigenous Aboriginal people who resided in the land of Israel or the land of Canaan was black, dark-skinned people. So it just also shows you that those people that reside there today, those are not the original people. They migrated there in the 1900s.
I think this is things that us black folks need to know.
Yeah.
It helps us with our self-esteem.
And I just love hearing a brother so knowledged, on this kind of stuff, bro. Like your terminology, the way you speak, you're very well spoken. You definitely know what you're talking about. Most definitely. What I mean? And so that's something for sure, y'all. Like, I want to, like, for me personally, like, if I wanted to look into that, like, what would be a good starter for me? Like, if I wanted to start kind of reading into this kind of stuff, like, what would be a good jump for me? Just kind of just diving right into just the history of Africa, or like the true history, like. Right.
I was always taught, by my mentor, my minister. We first have to be a student before we could become teachers and leaders. So therefore, I had to be a student and, under the teachings of, my mentor,
right.
And I always tell people, I just don't believe what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Go and do your own research.
Yeah.
Because, when you know you're teaching the truth and spreading the truth, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, burping. But to answer your question, you can join the classes. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, we have classes every Saturday.
Saturday.
And we go into all of this stuff.
Okay.
We go into so much. I mean, it's never ending.
Yeah.
Knowledge is never ending.
Well, it's so crazy because, like, I work at a school, you know what I mean? And so, especially during Black History Month, they bring up a lot of the big names, like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. But, we have so many teachers at our school there, like, we are not covering what needs to be talked about. They keep recycling the same idea of what it is. There's so many more people out there that they don't know about. And when they talk about Black history, they stay within Black history within America. They do not travel further than that. And I always wondered, like, the why behind that. You know what I mean? Like, are they saying we can't learn more about that in schools because we live in America? You know what I mean? But we learned about Russia. We learned about Germany. We learned about other countries. So why is this not talked about, like, on a daily? You know what I mean?
Because they know, deep down, they know that we are the indigenous Aboriginal man and woman of the entire earth.
Okay.
Of the entire earth. They know this. So they don't want us to go back 200 years.
Yeah.
Like, if you really look at the schools and how it's set up, like you said, it's selective of what they're choosing for the children to learn.
Right.
Such as Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
Malcolm X. Somewhat on Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks.
Yep.
And stuff on that level. Why not teach the children or the youth about Mitzrayim? Which is the Hebrew word for Egypt. Mitzrayim. Why not teach them about that?
Yeah.
And why not show them who the indigenous people are that resided there in those days?
Yeah.
Why is it a great cover up when they're showing for example, like the movies that's coming out, they call it the gods of Egypt, but the leaders and the roles or the higher ups or the pharaohs is white.
Yeah,
they're all white.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Why is this great cover up? And that's the reason why they're not teaching it, is because they know once we find out that that we have a rich bloodline, that we have a rich history, that makes people feel good.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially, it makes us feel good and it makes us want to do more.
Yeah.
But they're teaching us more about slavery, to keep us in that mindset.
Keeps them vibrations down. Like when you have you seen the Woman King?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, like that movie, I watched that, and it was very inspirational. It made me feel good. You know what I mean? My vibrations were high. And I think they're kind of worried about that, man. They don't want us to have our vibrations that high.
No, you're absolutely right, dude. And, like, again, that brings me back to it's just wild. Like, you know, during Black History Month, I think it's important. Like, okay, we know all about a lot of these leaders that we've had in America, like giving kids like that knowledge of being like, I want you to go research this. You know what I mean? Like, tell me a piece of Africa that I wouldn't know. Right. You know what I mean? And it's just mind blowing to me, because I feel like what the whole purpose behind that, you know, like what are you trying to prevent us from finding out, or what are you trying to prevent the connection of, you know what I mean? Like, do you not want like Africa to be strengthened with people in the U.S.? You know, what are they not trying to keep us in the days for, you know?
I mean, that's what it is. Like, once again, it goes back to the biblical scrolls.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or Jacob. We got to go back to all of that, you know, the ancient ancestors.
So do you think maybe part of that has to do with the fact that, you know, because I know religion's a big thing. They don't want to preach religion within schools and stuff.
Right.
Do you think a part of that is because, like, there's so much religion, you know, within it, like the history, that they wouldn't be able to teach that because, you know, someone will get upset about something, or, you know, why are you teaching this religion, da-da-da-da-da?
That's who... They don't want to teach the children the biblical scrolls because it's about us.
Yeah.
It's about us. I mean, you know, when children or people, you know, when they get old enough to be able to do their own research after studying and reading,
yep,
they're going to see, hold on, this is Africa. Ethiopia. Why is this talking about Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Why is this talking about Egypt?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Why is the Pharaoh? Why did Joseph? Why is he in Egypt? Why is Moses in Egypt?
Yeah. And when y'all are teaching these classes, like, what is the reaction y'all are getting? Are you like, a lot of people are like, wow, bro, like, I ain't even know about any of this. You know what I mean? Like,
all the time.
That's wild,
all
dude.
the time, because, you know, we're brought up in Christianity. You know, the Christian church don't teach about the children of Israel. They don't. All of this praise dancing and music and you know, and just feel good and, you know, false hope, you know, and that's really what it is. Like, it's not you know, the Christian church is a branch of the Catholic Church. That's just really what it is. They're paid, you know what I'm saying, to keep the minds of our people deceived, to keep the minds of our people lost in the world,
easier
in the matrix.
To control.
Yeah, and then, you know, especially if you're not doing your own study, you know what I'm saying, here, pass the tithes around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then if you look in the biblical scrolls and you look up tithes and you really dig into it, you'll see, oh, this ain't money. Right. They was bringing food. Like, if we had a gathering, or we came to the church, or we came to the gathering, the tithes was here. Bring an offering. Bring some food. Bring something with you. Yeah. That was the tithes. But today in church today, they're pushing this tithe doctrine, robbing the people, and that's also in the book of Jeremiah, or the book of Jeremiah. He says, would the pastors, or would these people rob God's people? God forbid. It's there. It's written. Yeah. Prophecy. It's been going on for thousands of years.
And it's like, especially in these day and age nowadays, you see a lot of people are getting called out for that. You know what I mean? Like, how come you got a private jet? You know what I mean? Like, why are you asking money for the church and you over here got a Rolex on and stuff? There was that video that came out where that dude was like flossing
his about Rolex. Joel Osteen?
Was that who it was?
I don't know.
Some dude was over there flossing his Rolex and stuff and say, y'all ain't helping enough. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, I know.
Like, yeah, it was mind blowing, dude. Like, but it just goes to show you. So, like, again, dude, I got to give y'all some props, man. Like, big props. Like, it's very awesome to see that y'all are bringing that real knowledge to a lot of kids, especially in the cities, man, where this is not even talked about. And you got so many lost kids that are just built up on anger right now. They're just angry at society. They're angry at everything. And that anger and hurt has turned into violence. And the reason, in my opinion, a lot of this violence is because of the lack of guidance. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And they don't have enough of that, you know, and it's not like pointing fingers at a certain person, but it's more the idea of it all. You know, it's like you said, it's this cycle that they want people to keep. You know, there's profit in it. You know what I mean? There's profit in prison. There's profit in death. There's profit in funerals, you know, and like, that's what they want, because, you know, they find out a bunch of people are now knowledge. Like, if we had y'all and doubled that by like 300 of y'all down in like Minneapolis,
I'm telling you,
that's a threat. You know, and that's dangerous. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was just telling Gene, like, when we talk about having it on YouTube, like, what is YouTube going to do with this video? You know what I mean? Is it going to see this as like, well, we're with Black Panthers, that's a problem? But yet there's so many, how much coverage did you get of the January 6th riots? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when all that was going on. But you know, y'all pop up, like Gene said, you went to that one little conference and y'all held.
Yeah, the conference for the 5 shot in St. Paul.
Yeah.
And there was no coverage of y'all.
Yeah.
You
know what I
spoke
mean?
for about 25 minutes, 20 minutes. And I watched the news that night. There's like a little clip, man. They didn't even express, like, you have some important things to say. And what did they even say in the clip? It's just
What they did was, you know, that's why we always make sure we record as our own media.
Yeah.
Because we know how the media is. You know, Elijah Muhammad said, you know, rest in power to him, but Prophet Elijah Muhammad, he said that the same media that will build you up or uplift you will be the same media that will destroy you and tear you down.
Right.
So basically never trust in the media because you know who it's ran by. So what they did was
Hollywood in a nutshell right there.
I'm telling you. And what they did was they chopped up what I said and put me in a whole completely different news article, news scene. It was about the ongoing shooting that stemmed from Harding, right? It was a young child who was stabbed at Harding.
Yep.
And then after that stabbing, it was like 2 or 3 more shootings that happened around the city, and they said it was all connected. So I wasn't at the press conference to speak on that.
Right.
I was at the press conference to speak about the recent incident of the 5 people shot, the 2 people that was murdered, and the 2 girls that was hit by stray bullets. So instead of putting, you know, that in there and what I spoke on and what we're speaking about, they chopped me up and then threw me somewhere else.
I was specific. Got you.
I was super frustrated, man, when I saw that. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, you said a bunch of important things that people need to hear, and I think people would want to hear. At the very least, they should put it on their site, your full speech.
Yeah.
So people can hear it.
I agree.
I think that's the problem with mainstream media, man, is they have sound bites. They have their 2 minutes to report on something.
Right.
I think...
and in this day and age, dude, we know the power of just video itself. You know what I mean? Like, we are in a social media world right now. So we could do one video and it hits the right group of people and that thing will go crazy viral. You know, so... we just now are getting that. They've had control of that for years, you know what I mean? So they already know how to change the narrative, how to turn this into something. They could film y'all, but then title it a completely different thing, you know what I mean? And it's just mind-blowing to me, dude. So
I think the mainstream media is going to be short-lived, man. Like, I think formats like this is going to be the thing of the future.
Real talk.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like,
real talk.
believe that, like, mainstream media, they're on their way out, man. They know it.
But
You know
just
what I mean?
just like the recent press conference we did for the child who was assaulted, we had our own camera. We recorded, and then we posted it to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and next thing you know, on TikTok, it's at almost 1 million views. It just blew up. It went viral.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you're saying. We're getting to the point where we're not going to need media.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was just telling Gene, like, TikTok's a great source because they can chop up or stop a video from getting played. But once the public gets their eyes on it, man, people put the work in, you know what I mean? And I greatly appreciate when people do that. You know, like, I was happy, like, I did follow you and I was like really happy to see those numbers climbing on that video, you know, because again, I didn't even know that was happening. You know what I mean? Like, it's just sad. Like, was it not newsworthy enough to these people? You know what I mean?
This was a press conference, and like 4 news stations was there,
Right.
and they had their cameras out. They had the podium, and we're talking,
Right.
And they put nothing.
I couldn't believe it.
On the news, no matter how serious we're talking about, a 8-year-old girl that is being physically assaulted by a grown man in a school, a teacher.
Yeah.
And this is not serious enough.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, you know, again, I believe that.
But you know what was more serious than that, though? Apparently, the Murdoch murders.
Right.
Oh, that was trending like crazy. You know, like privileged white people that had it all and lost it all. This is so interesting. Here's a Netflix documentary, hashtag Moderna's trial or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, more people knew about that within Minnesota alone than they did knowing about what was going on there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just goes to show you, man, like, I agree. I do think that the news stations are on their way out, and that's why we love what we do, because we're trying to give people like y'all a platform to make sure that y'all are getting the word out there. You know what I mean?
That.
Indeed. Since we're talking about violence, man, can we kind of speak up? I had a few questions. This winter, usually I look forward to winter because in the city, I live on the south side of the city. In the winter, it slows down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The shootings, the violence, it all slows down. And then once it gets warm, it comes back. This winter hasn't been the case. It's been a hot winter, as we know. 5 shot in St. Paul. The south side and north side, people are getting shot every single day.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any plans on maybe doing patrols this summer and spring, or hitting the streets? Or
Most definitely. We always hit the streets.
Yeah.
We always get suited and booted. We always hit the streets to speak to the brothers and sisters in the community.
Right.
Also to get out to recruit. We're always out recruiting as well, getting more people in on board. You know, and just also our presence.
Yeah.
People respect the presence.
Right.
You know, they're like, oh, it's time to get right. You know, and that's just, like, for real, that's what it is.
Do you think it's like also like kind of like a form of safety? You know what I mean? Like, they feel way safer seeing y'all on the streets than they do their own police that are sworn to protect them. You know what I mean? And if that's not an eye opener for people, I mean, what is there? You know? So, wow, that's amazing though. Yeah, I like that.
You guys, they are recruiting anybody that has questions.
Yep.
Or are interested. Like, give him a call. He's an open book. Your number's on. You have your number out there, right? For anybody to call, text. Man.
Well, I mean, even just on this video alone, you guys, if you do want to reach out to him, feel free to comment on here. Feel free to message us, and we'll be able to direct you straight towards him and their group and everything. And like me myself, like I said, I'm learning a lot just by hearing y'all speak about this. You know what I mean? It's so. I know there's people out here that don't know anything about this. You know, to them, it almost sounds like another language you're speaking on. And again, that goes back to that programming. So we really, like, I love the idea of trying to crack open this egg. Like, people need to know what the real truth is, you know, and what's really out there. And I do feel like the more knowledge people are, the less violence we will see, because the higher ups, whoever's in power, you know, here, it's way more profitable to see another black man kill another black man than it is to see another black man go to college with another black man. You know what I mean? And it is so sad that that idealism is more of a threat than violence in the streets. You know what I mean? When we talked with Gino, with Manda and them, you know, like with KG, it is mind blowing to us that when did all of a sudden killing kids still not be the draw? Like that should be it right there. Like, no conversation about that. You know, we should be coming together as a community and get that person, like, get some justice for them right away. But it's so much easier to change the narrative, create more violence in the streets. Like, on the news, I don't hear, like, about y'all a lot. I don't hear about all these amazing organizations that are in Minneapolis right now, working day in, day out, doing their thing, keeping the community safe. No one's talking about that. You know, because again, it's not profitable enough. So y'all open your eyes and see what we're seeing right now and hear what we're hearing. I mean, the truth is definitely out there. So just wanted to throw that in.
What you two are doing is very inspirational, and big ups to both of y'all, man. Because I know growing up, I always looked up to the Black Panthers, you know, wanted to be just like them, and to see that it's still going on, man. You guys are still out here. Like, you guys don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you chose to do this.
Yeah.
And who inspires you, man?
You know, I would say, you know, my national chairman, my mentor, Minister Quantin Lex.
Yeah.
You know, he's over the Houston, Texas division. That's where the headquarters of the New Black Panther Nation is at.
Okay.
He inspires me. You know, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, and many before him,
Sure.
before them. they inspire me a lot.
That's what's up.
To continue to keep doing the work.
Yeah.
But you know, what I've noticed is that consistency is success. You know, you got to be consistent with the work.
Yeah.
And you know, I do this because I truly wholeheartedly love the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I really do this.
That's what's up, man.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all a lot, you know, and I just know, like, I wish I had this kind of people to look up to when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Like, granted, don't get me wrong. I mean, music does make moods, and it really, like, drove me through a lot. You know what I mean? Like, Nas alone got me through a lot, you know, even DMX, you know, Tupac and all them. They inspired you to a certain extent. But, you know, if they, like, imagine if Tupac was spitting like you are, but in his music, you know what I mean? That would have raised some eyebrows. Like, what is he talking about? Let me look deeper into this. But it just goes to show you, man, like, we didn't have this growing up, you know, it was silenced, you know. Black Panthers are not even allowed to be talked about in schools, you know, like, that's a freaking problem to me, you know. But we talk about the KKK all the time because racism is more, you know, attention grabbing. You know, let's talk about how KKKs are so bad and they did all this. Like, but why can't we talk about the Black Panthers and what they did? You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying by any means that it's not fully talked about in schools, but what I am saying is that it's not normalized enough. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, J. Edgar Hoover did a number. You know what I'm saying? J. Edgar Hoover planned to infiltrate and destroy and obliterate the original Black Panthers. It worked.
Yeah.
And, you know, and he used not only the FBI, CIA, or COINTELPRO, he used the media, and he used the newspapers, you know what I'm saying, to destroy them. You know, that's the power that they have, of them being in control of the media and the newspaper to tell them that this is what you say about these people.
Right.
That they're animals, they're criminals, they're thugs, they're terrorists to the American government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when people, you know, research the original Black Panthers or they look them up, that's the first thing you're going to see is negativity. But you're not going to see the positive things that they've done in the community,
right,
such as opening up free breakfast programs, you know what I'm saying, opening up free hospitals where the children, the families and stuff can go to the hospital and don't even be charged. You know what I'm saying, from any diseases or something. They got the free access to it. You know, they're not gonna speak about how where WIC stem from, the WIC programs. You know what I'm saying, where food stamps stem from. They're not gonna, or free breakfast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now they got free, you know, sometimes some families have to pay, but you also got some families that don't have to pay for breakfast.
Yeah.
All that stems from who? The original Black Panthers. They wasn't doing that stuff at first. That's why the original Black Panthers created the free breakfast programs, because children was going to school hungry. How can children learn hungry? Right. You feel what I'm saying? How could they do it? See, but that's what they do. They got a history of that, of removing the truth.
Yeah,
and you know, of what they were doing and trying to cover them up with negativity.
And I think it's becoming harder and harder now, like you're saying, you know, not even just with news but it's becoming harder and harder for them to hide that because of the internet. You know, it's like a love-hate thing, you know, like it's great because they can try to control it, but there's stuff they cannot control. Like right after this, I can Google everything we talked about and learn so much more, you know what I mean? And they cannot stop me.
Right.
But what they can do is try to find a way to direct that and try to wean out everything, you know, like you said, growing up, what you heard about with Black Panthers was angry, brothers with guns. Oh man, especially that, you know, like that threw them off big time, you know, with everything you spoke of.
All these white folks have guns. They have the police. They have groups with guns. But the minute there's a group of black folks with guns, it's they're a militia, a black militia,
because you know the 13th Amendment used to. It used to say that we were labeled 3/5 of a human being in the Constitution. So then, and when we're labeled 3/5, that they're basically saying that we're less human, that we're not human. This is why they called us animals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they tied us to. You know what I'm saying? As animals. Let's go back to the zoos. the animal zoos and all that stuff, when they had our people in zoos locked up in cages playing like animals. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why they feel that we're not equal.
Right.
At that time, they felt we wasn't equal enough, you know what I'm saying, to be able to carry guns. We wasn't, you know, on the same level. That's the system of white supremacy, and that's the mindset that they have of being superior. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, than us as a nation of people.
You know, J. Edgar Hoover quoted, "The biggest threat to America is black people uniting." Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That speaks volumes.
Hallelujah.
You know what I mean? Like, they've been plotting for years on us, and they still are.
Yeah,
most definitely.
And I know I speak a lot, like when I say the media and stuff, and like in a way, like it is bad because it is. But I'm also rooting for them too, because like I hope someone from the media sees this and sees like, wow, it is possible. You can sit down and have a conversation with this brother and learn some things. Like if I worked in the news, I would want, like, what was that, 60 Minutes? You know what I mean? They should be calling you. We're giving you 60 Minutes right now. You know what I mean? And we're just a local podcast. You know what I mean?
What was your mentor's name again?
Minister Quanell X.
So I watched a few videos of him, man. Jay sent me a few, and you know, he was on a program. I don't know which one it was.
I love that.
You know, there's a lady talking to him.
Oh, you talking about Fox?
Fox News, man.
Fox Face Off.
Yeah, like, you know, he's so sharp with his words, man. And like, she was trying so hard
to control the narrative.
And they're not really trying to find out, like, learn new information.
No. Yeah.
They're trying to get you to fumble, say something stupid, and then
agree with them.
Or agree, and then do that sound bite over and over. I was very impressed, man, when I watched it, how sharp he was with his words. And
you know, we was always taught to study the enemy.
Right.
You know, and you know, we know how they maneuver, especially doing interviews.
He was obviously he was ready for
how they maneuver. We know how to maneuver to counterattack.
Right.
Because we know that a lot of times they're trying to get you caught up, or they're trying to, misrepresent you, or, just make you seem like some bad person on national television. So we know, and we practice on how to deal with the media.
Yeah.
So that's why Minister is so sharp.
Right. It's sad because as a journalist, your job isn't to control the narrative. Right. Your job is to find out facts and learn. And it's sad what the media has become.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, when did that stop? You know what I mean? Like, the providing information and truth to the world. That's what we want to know. You know what I mean? And it's just wild, dude. And like I said, man, I mean, for one, again, you guys, I just want to thank y'all for coming on our show, and like Gene always says, because I usually would get to we're wrapping up to about an hour right now. We try to keep it around there, but like Gene always says, it's never enough time. You know what I mean? It's never enough time to talk. So I definitely want to see if we can get you back on the show, bro. Both of y'all, for sure, to get on the show to really kind of help spread whatever, information that we can help with y'all. So like what we like to do.
We'd like you to let people know the number if they're interested in getting a hold of you and taking these Saturday classes, and also if they have any questions as far as maybe joining either one of these clubs, man. And
most definitely, anybody that's interested in joining the Line of Judah Armed Forces and New Black Panther Nation, you can contact us at 763-760-0789. Just send a text message, 763-760-0789, and I will make sure we'll have somebody or our chief of staff reach back out to you from national headquarters here. Or you can send us an email, reach us by email at TLOJGC@gmail.com. That's TLOJGC@gmail.com.
Do you have any socials you want to throw out there?
Most definitely. You can catch me on TikTok at Nasiy Nasir X. That's Nasiy Nasir X. That's Nasiy Nasir X. That's my TikTok. You can catch me on Facebook under Nasiy Nasir. That's Nasiy Nasir. Or you can catch us on social media. On Instagram. Under our headquarters division, which is TLOJAF National Headquarters. That's TLOJAF national headquarters.
Perfect.
Got it, man.
And then just make sure that you text Gene all that information. So when I do put the video together, I'll make sure we get all the handles in there. We'll put it under, like we always do in the description, y'all, so that everybody's aware. If you ever have any questions, we usually tag that into the videos when we post them online as well. So just be sure to get that information out there as well to Gene. Just shoot him a text.
Yeah, man. I have nothing but love and respect for you two brothers, man, and keep on doing what you're doing. Much appreciated. And if there's anything we ever could do to help out,
and I'm really hoping that, not saying like this video, I hope this video does help with a lot of people, but y'all's mission alone, I really hope that y'all get a good outcome out of here. I hope to see the numbers grow, not just like with y'all squad and who y'all are with the Lions of Judah, but also just with the knowledge alone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If they don't end up rolling with y'all, they take something from y'all, just like we did. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and that's the goal. Right. That's the goal. We also know, even the Messiah himself says, many are called, but few are chosen. So, everybody, it ain't gonna be for everybody.
Right.
And we've witnessed that a lot, because the matrix is so deep.
Yeah.
The matrix is so deep, and to the point of our people have been indoctrinated for over 400 years, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, the ones that's on board, those are the chosen ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Right.
And that's just what it is, but that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Well, brothers, thank y'all so much for coming on the show, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody that's watching. We appreciate everybody that likes, shares, comments on this video. Help push this. Help get the word out there. Be looking for short clips that'll be coming out from this interview, as well as the full-length feature. So,
yeah. So, thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Level Up with Gene and Jay. And, we're signing out.
Yeah. We'll see y'all later. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show.
Respect, gentlemen. Thank you.
Sabi Wapa up. Sabi Wapa up. Sabi Wapa up with TLOJAF.
Oh my God, girl. Good job.